We're back with some more NBA playoff picks. Today we will into the Game 3 territory. And Game 3s are my favorite games. Game 3s and Game 4s. My personal favorite because they really dictate how a series is going to go. And series become a little bit more predictable by the Game 3 or Game 4, you know, games. Why? Because teams start making adjustments. They start getting used to teams' tendencies. They start figuring out, okay, we need to double this guy more, different things of that nature. And Game 7 is the best game, but like I said, if you get to it, the Game 3, Game 4s, they really dictate how a series is going to go. You go 3-1, 2-2 at that point, 2-1, different things can happen, and coaches make more predictable adjustments, right? Because obviously we all get to see what works and what doesn't. So we're going to start that off with the New York Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks. Uh, I anticipate another big game from Josh Hart in terms of aggression, right? That could look like points, that could look like assists. We might throw in, like I said, a triple double for Josh Hart is still on the table. He might like come short with like 8 assists, but given how they're playing right now, I could easily see that happening. Um, Dyson Daniels is also a candidate for that. Obviously, they don't really have a point guard in Atlanta, and Dyson Daniels kind of like dimes more than most. So, and he boards more than most. He's like what Josh Hart was for the Knicks in recent years, not so much this year. So that should be a competitive game. Really shouldn't be because the New York Knicks are significantly better than the Atlanta Hawks, but I feel like the New York Knicks don't realize that, and they're kind of sleeping on the Hawks at the same time. So if the Knicks do not blow the Hawks out, I fear that the Hawks will go up 2-1. If that's a close game again, Knicks might run the risk of blowing another lead. Or even if they don't blow another lead, the Knicks are at risk of just like letting that game like falter, right? Letting that game get beside them. Uh, Please, they got to figure out a solution for CJ McCollum. I'd rather the Knicks win this series, but the way CJ looking, he looking like Portland CJ right now, and the Knicks aren't allowing it to happen. CJ should be good for another at least 20 points, at least 20 if he don't go for another 30. If he doesn't go for another 30. So you might see another CJ Brunson 30 for 30. Hawks can only go up 2-1. Like I said, if the Knicks keep that game close. If the Knicks just smoke them, blow them out the water from the start of the game, you're good. So pay attention to those live odds, right? If you still see the Hawks is in the game late in the fourth, late in the third, you might want to hit that smash button on them. So let's move on to our second game, the Cleveland Cavaliers versus Toronto Raptors. Should be another wash. That series really should be a 3-0. Raptors have no business being matched up with the Cleveland Cavaliers. James Harden's looking amazing. Him and Donovan Mitchell both had themselves nights last time. Again, like I said Scotty Barnes would be more aggressive. I believe he led the team in scoring last game. He will be more aggressive, but they're still fall short. This game, I believe Brandon Ingram finally wakes up. He has his first 20-point game of the series. I still don't think it will be enough, but I do think Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram both wake up, help RJ Barrett out a little bit because RJ Barrett has been the only consistent one in the 20s, essentially. James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, that's just a hard combo to overcome. And then you also have Jared Allen with an Evermore. They just got too much. Max Strus, they got too much off the bench. They just got too much for the Toronto Raptors. So that should just be easily a wash. And then our final game, we have the Denver Nuggets and Minnesota Timberwolves. That game is very, very interesting. Obviously, all of our games right now are tied up 1-1. Not 1-1, sorry, because the Cavs and the Raptors aren't 1-1. So our final game is going to be tied up 1-1. That game can really go either way. It really depends on how Julius Randle plays. I feel like Julius Randle is like the guy. Like if Julius Randle gets on his, you know, triple double, like flirting with triple double, like Dom, like he was last game, things of that nature. Anthony Edwards can be Anthony Edwards. And again, Jaden McDaniels was not wrong. The Denver Nuggets problem, even though they blame Luka, Luka Doncic doesn't defend X, Y, and Z, right? But Jokic doesn't either. If they keep going to the basket on Jokic, like Denver is a wash this particular series, right? So that series can go either way. It just depends on how the coaches go about it, but I really don't know, honestly. Like it really depends. You can have Jamal Murray and Jokic night where Jamal Murray got 50, Jokic got his usual triple double, or you might get a Jokic and a Murray triple double put together. I feel like that series you just stay away from anything can happen in that series. You're definitely gonna get a Jokic big scoring game. maybe a 45 piece at some point in that series, maybe if they go down enough. But that series, I say stay away from it. So those are the plays. Those are the predictions for the first set of game threes on this Thursday, April 23rd. Hopefully I'm right. Hopefully we all make a lot of money. Hopefully we all